All right, looks like we are officially live. Hello, everyone. Good evening. Hope you all are doing well. We're going to have a great conversation tonight, as always. When you come on, do me a favor, make sure you share this out. Get some other people in here. Put in someone's DM. Whatever you got to do. We have a great conversation tonight. Let me try to add Delanda. Let me see. Hold on. Always get trouble doing this. All right, just send the invite. Yeah, so when you get on to me a favor, drop some comments down. Let us know. Definitely want you to share this out. There we go.
Hey.
Yeah,
Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Great. Yeah, I can hear you.
All right, great. How you doing?
I'm doing great. How about yourself?
I'm doing good. No complaints. Just busy as always, but definitely excited about this conversation.
Yeah, me too.
Mhm.
I think it's going to be good.
Yeah, absolutely. So, for those, of course, that don't know you already, they definitely should. But for those that don't, just give us, a brief background on who you are and, where you're from and everything.
Yeah, so my name is Delanda Coleman. I'm from Boston, Roxbury, for those of you rocking with us. And I started a publishing company back in I think at this point, it was late 2019. And uh, and I wrote a children's book called More Than a Princess. And More Than a Princess is about, a prince. Here, I'll bring it over here. It's about Princess Kiana, who is bored in her life as a castle, and so she becomes introduced to her fairy godmother, who shows her future in STEM-based careers. And so I am a professional by day. I work in the technology sector. I'm the director of marketing for a technology company. And one of the things that I don't see is a lot of women of color, especially Black women. We're like unicorns in the technology industry. So my aspiration was to develop content or books that have featured Black characters and that talked about STEM-based concepts. So that's what I did. And as of yesterday, I've officially sold 12,000 copies of this book since its launch. And as a self-publisher, that is a big deal because usually a self-publisher only sells in the lifetime of the book about 250 copies.
Really?
And yeah, and a traditionally published children's book will sell to about 10,000 copies. So I've surpassed that goal. I'm trying to even take it a little further. And I've picked up a lot of really great tips along the way in terms of like, what platforms should you sell your book on? Thinking about, I have a multi-channel approach, meaning I sell both on Amazon and on my own platform, but Amazon has been really, really good to me.
Definitely. All right. Someone says, will you please say that number again so it can manifest in my life?
Yes, 12,000.
Man, congratulations.
Thank you.
And it keeps going up. Cause I think when I first talked to you, you were like, all right, 10,000. And it was like, all right, well, we got to update it because 11,000
Yeah.
and 12,000. I didn't even know that until you just said it. So we definitely want to congratulate you. Shout out to everybody in the room. Shout out to Joy in the room, Mastermind family in here, other folks joining. Said 12K, please, in Jesus. Yes. We definitely want to congratulate you. Like, that is major. Do me a favor, y'all. Like I said, share this out. Get some other people in this conversation. This is a very important conversation. Like Delanda said, she is a unicorn. People aren't doing this. I wrote a book. It's on Amazon. Maybe sold like 1,000 copies. Not on Amazon. Just me selling it direct to consumer. So the fact that she's doing 12,000 and keep going, like, is amazing. So, I want to take it back, all the way back for a minute of like, you gave us brief background, but like, how did this start? Like, did you always want to be an author? Was it something that, ever since you were little, did you kind of fall into it? Like, what was that like in the beginning?
Yeah, well, I've always been a book lover. So when I was a child in like primary school, and I would go to the library and I would like grab books, read them, consume them, go back and go more, like go back and grab more. like the Little House on the Prairie was like one of my favorite book series. It was like a very good memory for me. And so I think that was like the seed. And then as I grew up and became an adult, and I've moved from coast to coast, and I would have to, each time I moved, I would have to go through the painful process of like purging books, because you know books are heavy. I'm like, I don't want to get rid of this one. I don't want to get rid of that one. So I just have like an affinity for books. And then, you know, I've always had on my New Year's resolutions that I wanted to write, and I would never do anything. It was just like, you know, those dreams that you have that you say, I want to do, but you haven't done yet. And so back in 2018, I had really made the decision that I was going to write it. And luckily my husband was like, okay, I'll help you. He often freestyle raps with his friends. And so he has a really great talent of rhyming off the cuff. So what we did is we collaborated, and I outlined what I wanted. I kind of wrote down the story outline and arc. So I wrote down the story arc, and he went in the closet, came back with all the rhymes. So like I call him the father of the story, because he definitely, you know, put his stank on it and made it rhyme, which was really awesome. So it took us a while, because I had to kind of figure out, okay, well, we have a manuscript. How do I find an editor to like help me bring the story to life? And that was a process, because I went through a couple of editors before I found the one that really shared my vision and really encouraged me. And she like really really helped take the story to the next level. She helped us get it on meter, which is, you know, because it's a rhyming children's book. You kind of like, when you're reading a story to a kid, you have to be like, da 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 da. Da.
Yeah.
It has to have 15. Yeah. And then, so we went on from there. But like, it just came from, it stopped being like a New Year's resolution to, I put it on my vision board, and it became a vision. And together, along with my husband, we really brought it to life.
Yeah, that is great. Yeah, congratulations. So, you know, I know a lot of people are watching like, all right, you know, that's great, but like, how do I do that? You know, like, do I just go in like the children's book niche to do that? Like, what if I want to write a different type of book? You know, so like, what suggestions?
I think there are so many bestsellers out there that are in everyone's head. And what I would say is like the first step that you should do is just get it out of your head and onto paper. And that process doesn't have to be hard or arduous, but you know, don't take your bestseller to the grave, right? We need your bestseller on paper and published. And so a couple of strategies that I use mind mapping, because I'm not a like what I would say like a career writer. Like, so I did need some techniques to kind of push me to the next level. So like things like mind mapping, things like hiring an editor are going to be really critical to like, getting it out. And then a lot of it is just mindset work. You know, do you want this to happen? Do you believe in yourself? So if you truly believe in yourself and you really want this, you're going to do what you need to make it happen.
That is good. Joyce said, don't take your bestsellers to the grave.
Yeah.
Definitely. So, like, I definitely want, all the other people want to know, like, all right, how the heck did you sell that many copies of a book? And, you know, in such a short amount of time, you know, like, I don't give too many secrets. Like, I know you have, you know, a program and everything where people can literally work with you directly, and we'll talk about that. But, like, I'm really curious is, like, because, like you said, majority of people out here don't do that. Lifetime, they may sell a few hundred copies of a book, maybe, if they're lucky. So, like, how the heck did you sell that many copies of your book?
Well, it didn't start off this way. Like when I started off, I'm going to kind of tell you what I did and what I see the average person does. And I spent a whole year working on the book, working on illustrations, and then just figuring out how to publish. And then I published. And then that's it. I hit publish, and then I just kind of like went to bed. That's it. And so I was like, I did it before, 2020, like, because literally I published, if you look at the version on Amazon, it says it published on December 23rd of 2019. So that's the exact date. So the day before Christmas Eve is when I actually hit publish. And the reason I did it so fast is because I was working really hard with the illustrator who was going to take like 3 or 4 weeks off and for the end of the year. And she was like, look, like, if we don't get this done, I'll see you in January. So I was like rushing. So that's what I did. I just published and I did nothing. And of course, nothing happened. And so I did sell, like, I've distributed in other places in Amazon, and I ended up selling 125 copies. Just, I don't know how, just magically 125 copies were sold. And I said, if I do nothing and I can sell 125 copies, then what if I just did something, right?
Right, exactly.
So the first thing I did was I just kind of activated to my social media. So I went on Instagram, I went on Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter, and I just kind of told people within my network, hey, everybody, Terrence and I, that's my husband, wrote a book. This is why we did it. This is the impact that we want to make, and you can get your copy here. And then all of a sudden people were like, oh my gosh, they were like, and then I did that and I hit #1 on the charts. I started trending on the Amazon charts, and I was like, oh, I didn't even know what that meant at the time. Somebody sent me a screenshot of going #1, and I was like, what? So I did that, and I was like, okay, I need to get serious. And so I planned a launch event for March. And I started telling people that the launch event is happening in March of 2020. So you can see where this is going.
Yeah.
I told them that I was launching in 2020, and then in March 2020, and that I needed a street team. I needed a launch team. And if anyone wanted help to support me, to just, DM me, send me your contact information. And they did. And so I was emailing people out of Gmail. Like I didn't have like some email system. I had Gmail and a list of people who said, hey, I want to support you, sis. So I'm saying that to pause for a minute to say that although, and we're going to talk about this, how ads and automation and using technology to supercharge you works, just start where you are, right? Just start within your network, with your friends and family. I also posted in Facebook's groups, and so people who saw the book were supportive, and I then asked them to help me do reviews. And I ran a promotion on the book, and I said, please buy the book and leave a review. And I think that was like the catalyst, to helping gain momentum on the book. And so I would say, that's kind of like how I started it, but that wasn't really sustainable for me personally because I have a full-time job, I'm working. And so what I would see in my book sales is that when I did social media activity, when I went live and when I promoted it hard, I would see spikes in my sales. But then when I had to go back to work, or I just didn't have a social media strategy, I would see declines. And I would have what I call this erratic heartbeat of sales. Some days it was really good. Some days, and most days, it wasn't so good until I started, the pandemic did happen. And I just started having a little bit more extra time to understand what are, what I call just more evergreen and sustainable tactics. And that's when I started investing in ads, and I started really understanding how Amazon works and just kind of thinking through, like, what is Amazon? Like, how does it work? How does it tick? And once I understood that, I was able to like really supercharge and put myself on a path where I actually predicted the day that I would hit 10,000, and I did.
Oh, man. So what's the day you want to hit 100,000? We need a prediction.
Well, I'm hoping, like, I think I got to do a lot more to do that, but I'm definitely, that's in my goal. Like, my goal was to 10x the sales, and so I'm developing a strategy to do that.
Yeah, definitely. I can definitely see it coming. So yeah, that is amazing. And I love that because I've worked with a lot of authors before. We built funnels and ads and stuff. And I am an author myself. A lot of people don't even know that. But the problem with a lot of authors is like they're too caught up on just writing the book, and they're not thinking about selling it, marketing it. Most aren't entrepreneurs or like writers by nature, and that's good. But at the same time, like you gotta learn how to market it, sell it, be on social media, learn ads and stuff like that. So that is great.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
I think there are like 3 hurdles. It's getting it out of your head and getting it down on paper. And what I would say to that is use writing techniques, use people in your ecosystem to help you. Just get a ghostwriter, whatever it is you need to do, just get it out. The second hurdle is just producing a high quality book. So that's another thing. Like even before you think about scaling strategies like ads, like, what you and I do, but you really need to produce a high quality book cover. You need to, really do that. And so hire professional designers. Like I know y'all love Fiverr. I know y'all out there love y'all some Fiverr. I'm not knocking Fiverr. There's some good people out there, but it's really tough to find it. Go where the professional cover designers are and get you a very high quality cover designer. And the reason you want that is because, remember, Amazon, half of the people, there's 150 million downloads of the Amazon shopping app. It is the #1 app for shopping, right? So everyone has the app, and most likely, there's a high probability that they're more likely selling. People are buying your products on their mobile phone, and so they're scrolling through their selection. And so if you have a crappy cover that doesn't look like what they want, that's going to signal to them that you don't really have a high quality book, and you don't want that. So I call it like, if you got invited to Prince Harry and Meghan's wedding and you showed up in jeans, you would look awkward. Like you don't fit into that. So, dress appropriately to the party. And so you want a really high quality book. And then the last hurdle, of course, is just sustained marketing. It's not just the initial launch. You can think of a book as the long haul. It's a sustained asset that you can have in your portfolio as an entrepreneur. And so you should invest in sustained marketing activities, especially if you're using it as a lead magnet or as part of your overall funnel to whatever it is that you do.
Yeah, that definitely makes a lot of sense. I'm glad you're sharing this information. If y'all getting value out of this, do me a favor, drop a comment down, put an emoji down. Definitely let us know if you're enjoying this. I see a lot of more folks are joining. So that's great. So yeah, I definitely love that you're sharing this information. What do you have any specific like genres or niches or anything that are like, hey, this may be more popular than other, or something like that?
No, you should. It kind of depends on your genre. Some genres are more competitive than others. Like for example, I'm in the children's book category. It's very competitive there. And I really can't take advantage of ebooks as much because people want something to touch and feel in the children's book market. But maybe the self-help, you can take advantage of ebooks a lot more, and it's a little bit easier, but it's still a lot of competition. And of course, if you're writing in niche pockets, like, okay, this is a great example, Canadian history. There's probably not a lot of people in the US who care about Canadian history. So you could kill it in the Canadian history market, right? So you should really do your research when you're outlining or visioning your book. Go read which are the books that are similar to what you want to do, and go see which genres and categories that they're in. And then by that, you can understand how competitive those categories are and what it's going to take for you to win in those categories. So, but the good thing is that the principles in terms of like going #1 are very similar across industries. You just have to know how competitive or non-competitive they are and what's it going to take for you to win.
Yeah, I love that. All right, see my guy Roosevelt's in here. What's going on? See you at TSP Game Plan, my brother. People dropping some emojis. Shell Curry says, That won't let me be great. Keep dropping out. Yeah, they don't want you to get this information. Have come to the conclusion. And with Amazon, so I assume it's basically this just passive income, right? Like you don't have to necessarily do anything. You don't got to ship anything. You don't got to really do anything, right?
Well, I mean, I guess it
besides
depends.
The marketing and the, of course, do what you do. But as far as fulfillment, like all that type of stuff, like you're just getting royalties, right?
Yes. So the good thing is the royalty checks come in about 2 months after the month closes. So like if you sell your books in January, by March you get paid out, which is great because other distributors, they actually pay you out 4 to 6 months out. So it's crazy. So the cash flow is delayed, but it's consistent. Does that answer your question? Or
Yeah.
Oh, what you have to do. Okay. So I would say you don't have to do much in terms of if you produce the high quality content of the book, but you do have to pay attention to sales copy. So the copy that is written on your book description. So when customers click on your book and they go read what it's about, you should be really thoughtful about that. And you should also be seasonal about it. So, and you should be understanding what the trends are, right? So if you wrote a great diet book that just happens to be based on keto principles, but you didn't say that, and keto is really hot and trending right now, you may want to go back and say, hey, we have keto recipes, we have, a mixture of different lifestyles or whatever, so that you're picking up on what people are searching for, if that makes sense, right? So, and then if you wrote a book that might be a great gift during the holiday season, you might say in your book description, this book is a perfect Christmas gift for blah, 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 for whoever your target audience is. So I would say, your trends are happening in addition to the context of your book. So if you can adjust your listing to match the trends that are happening in the industry, then you're going to be able to kind of stay with the traffic. So you want to go where the water's flowing, essentially.
Okay. Yeah, I'm glad you said that too, because a lot of people, like you said, might think, oh, well, I published it, I did a little bit of marketing, but they don't stay on top of stuff and they're not consistent. So that is true. All right. Roosevelt said the only crappy part about selling on Amazon is you don't control the customer list. That's true. I was doing a few thousand a month on there, but couldn't retarget my customers. So after that, I couldn't resell to them. That is true. And I think Amazon used to do that, but they don't allow you to get to like customers' information or anything.
Yeah, but I mean, honestly, like let's think about this. If your Coach, right? Coach has their physical stores and they can track their customers in their physical store or on their website. But do you think Coach cares that if they sell their bag in Macy's, do you think Macy's is sharing who bought their bag in Macy's? Like, no, they don't care. And so it's just, think about it this way. You can't attract everybody in the universe just because you're not on the scale of Amazon. But you can attract a certain class or type of customer through your own channels, and then through Amazon you can capture the audience that you would never capture on your own, and you can use that as a volume play. So I don't think of it as either or. I think of it as like, how do I leverage their platform and leverage their strategy as another income source, and then do my own thing to continue to develop my Instagram.
Yeah, that's true. I'm glad you said that, because I see like a lot of people do 100% depend on Amazon, and not even just authors. Like I talk to a lot of e-commerce brands, whereas like they're literally 100% of the business is dependent on Amazon. I talked to someone like a couple of weeks ago, and she said she was literally doing like over 7 figures on Amazon, and then they changed the algorithm, some things changed, and she literally went from making no money, but she never did anything outside of Amazon. So, I definitely think for it. And also, like you said, at the end of the day, it's Amazon. It's the biggest, largest online retailer parent in the world.
Literally. So why are you mad? Like, you're getting volume and traffic, and the other benefit is that they do give you data, which is which is great. So if you invest in their ad platform, you can actually see what the trends are. You can see the changes in the trends and you can adjust. But if you are betting 100% on Amazon or 100% on yourself, you're just kind of missing out on two different worlds and two different customers that you would not have gotten in either or elsewise.
That's true. All of us here ask ourselves, people you know, your family, whoever, did y'all order on Amazon today or have you ordered on Amazon recently? Y'all probably got stuff that just got dropped off today from Amazon Prime or whatever. So
that is a good point. So let me give you a little fact. Like 46% of Americans receive 1 to 2 packages a week from Amazon, 46%. And that number goes up higher when you think about age 25 to 36. That number goes to like over 50, I think almost close to 60%. So, you know, the younger generation, like they don't want to go peruse the mall or they don't want to go into the store. They just rather scroll, do their searches, and then have something show up between 24 to 48 hours. So, I mean, so like
now they doing same day now.
Yeah.
A lot of.
And the funny thing is, it's like when I launched my website, you know, I was, you know, launched the website, launched it to all my social media friends, and my own family member was like, should I buy it from your website or should I buy it from Amazon? I was like, bam. Like, buy it from my website. I get more money. And they were like, I don't know. I was like, just go ahead and buy it from Amazon. I get a check anyway. So like, that's to tell you, like, I know your website was nice and I know you worked on it really hard, but they, you know, people don't trust you. They trust Amazon. They know that it will show up. They know that if they have a problem, they'll get handled. They know it will be in their inbox or in their doorstep in 48 hours.
Right. And I think Amazon spoils people. For those of you that do your own fulfillment and you don't get it there in 2 days, people is some service up like, where's my package at?
Yeah.
Definitely. So I definitely want you to talk about, you know, the program that you have, you know, for those of you that do want to become authors, or you may be an author, but you ain't selling no units, you ain't selling no copies, you need some additional assistance. That is what I like as well, is like, you've done this, you're expert at this, but you're also helping other people that have ideas or have books and need to get it in front of more people. Can you just talk about your program a little bit?
Yeah, so I launched a program, my coaching and consulting business is called Self-Publish Like a Boss. You can go to selfpublishlikeaboss.com to learn about it, but I just launched a course called Beyond the Launch. So this is for the author who is ready to publish, or who has just published on Amazon and they really want to get to #1 on the charts and they want to have consistent sales. So if you want to be a best-selling author, you have to continue to sell. And so, you know, I kind of decode the Amazon algorithm for you. I tell you what are the core things that they're looking for. I tell you how to research and target your audience and how to place yourself in winning great high traffic categories, and then how to sustain being in the #1 or top 10.
Mm-hmm. All right, what's the link so I can drop it down? I'm going to pin it to the chat.
Selfpublishlikeaboss.com.
All right. You got some questions in there too.
Okay, so I see one question. Should a book be a certain length? I struggle with thinking about a book that has X number of pages. A book can be as a short story. It could be you know, like an epic long story like the Harry Potter series. Like, so it just kind of like depends on what genre that you're writing in. So again, remember when I said if you got invited to Prince Harry's and Meghan's wedding, you're going to have to dress a certain way to show up to the party for your genre, right? So it kind of really depends on what you're writing for. But you can write short stories, and then so you're going to place yourself in short story categories, or you can write epic long, you know, novellas, and, you know, and so you're going to place yourself in those right categories. So I think it just kind of depends. But what I would ultimately say is just write. Like, if you have a story in you, just get it out on paper and just write, let it flow. And then once you have something, you know, put the pen down and call an editor. Don't worry about what the length is. call an editor. You can hire developmental editors who can help you fill in the gaps and who can help you flush out the story more. Or you can take one of your courses or take one of your speeches, have them translated, and hire a ghostwriter to help you flush out the story. So like, don't be stuck on one mechanism or another. Don't worry about the length so much as the content.
Okay. I think someone else had a question. Are you taking private clients?
It depends. So I am going to start offering like one-on-ones. So to kind of talk you through and coach you through. Right now the course is more of the course that I'm offering is a done with you. So for 6 weeks I run alongside you doing this research and figuring out what are the best, who is my target audience, how do I find them on Amazon, how do I place myself in the categories, and I'm going to walk with you step by step to actually guide you on how to do that. And then I'm probably do one-on-one clients more as a, like, you know, on a call basis.
Okay. Joyce says, do you have any editors or ghostwriters that you would recommend?
I can tell you how to find one, and some best practices on how to get one. So I utilize services like Upwork or Readsly, where editors hang out, like professional editors. And so I ask them to say, hey, I'm looking for an editor who has experience in this particular genre. And then I give them a sample of my manuscript, and I ask them for a sample edit. Most editors will do that for free. And so I give a sample edit to several different editors, and based on what comes back, then I use that to make my decision. So I would definitely check out Upwork or Readsly.
And I definitely want to write another book myself. Like, I really seriously need your help. I know I've told you this before, but my time is just so limited. So like, I need a ghostwriter, or like I have tons of trainings that could probably be transcribed. So like, I really, really want to write another book. Like, I miss getting those Amazon royalties. I used to get them every month. Well, I never got like a whole lot, but it was like, just, you know,
it was a nice surprise, right?
I'm like a month.
Yeah,
and I'll be like, oh.
We can definitely get you squared away. And like, honestly, like if you decide today, like this is what I'm going to do, you know, go into your archive of all the courses that you taught and have them transcribed, and we can find you a ghostwriter to kind of help flesh it out. And the ghostwriter is really just like an editor, like a super duper editor who can take what you've already done and completed. So it's not like, you know, it's not you. It's just that they can help do it faster, given that, you know, they're just wonderful at what they do.
Okay. I definitely want to do it. Like, we're going to talk offline, because that's one of my main goals for next year. Like, I really want to have another book out there, because like you say, you know, it could be a lead magnet. It just gets other people into your world. Like, it can get you speaking engagements, you know, and stuff like that. So I love that.
Let's talk about that. So if you get this funnel right, so like, you know, like I'm selling like 12,000 books, right? So let's show you my lead magnet. And I got smarter the second time around. So in my book, one of the lead magnets that I have is, of course, that I have my social media tags in my book. So I say, this is how you find me.
Notes, please, for real. Go ahead.
Yeah. So a lot of people, like, they don't put their contact information in the title page, and with the title page, it'll have like the copyright page, it'll have copyright information. It'll say where your publishing company is located. And then I have my website as well as my social media handles in there. So that's one magnet. And then in the about the author section, I also have my personal webpage there. I have my social media handles in there. And I can't tell you how many times a mom has tagged me in social media and was like, I just read your book and here's a picture of my daughter reading it and I love it. It's awesome. So that's like the basic thing that you should do in your book. The second thing that I did is that I put a sales page in here. that says, you know, join the digital book club, right? And so they can go to the digital book club and they can get free coloring pages, they can get previews of future products, exclusive discounts, and all that. And so that is another lead magnet to the book. So if you think about it, like, you know, you can build your funnel. Not only you get paid by Amazon, but build your funnel into the book so you draw people back to you. So that's one way that you can get them back in there. And I know I see people doing fancy things, like they put their QR codes now. So that's new.
I was just
I
thinking
missed
that
that
you were
book.
talking
So
about
next book.
like you need to do that now. Yeah, like I would definitely do that if I had a book now. Put my QR code in there.
Yeah. The other thing that I would say is that the nice thing about Amazon is that you can change this. So if you didn't do this, you can do this now. So like you can go change the inside of your book and upload new content and change it. Right. So like, again, start with where you are. And when you pick up new strategies and techniques, the benefit of self-publishing is that you can modify. You could modify the cover, you can modify the contents, and so that it's it could adjust to what's happening in the ecosystem.
Yeah, and like you said, that's so important because, you know, you may not necessarily get the customer data directly from Amazon, but if they hit your QR code or your website or your social media or something in the book, that's how you can get their information or add them to your list.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, so I took your tip and added a GIF in my book, lead magnet. Forgot what it was called, but I used the strategy when I heard you speak this spring.
All right.
That's great.
Okay, Michelle. Good job.
Anybody have any other questions or, you know, anything like that? Like, you definitely been given a lot of nuggets today, so definitely appreciate that.
Yeah, I mean, this book publishing process it's a journey, but it's been really fun. It's given me a lot of opportunities to meet people, to meet children, first and foremost, to meet children and read the book to them and hopefully inspire them, to talk to parents about the importance of, you know, infusing STEM in the home and how to do that. And it's allowed me to write content, like, for example, I wrote a STEM challenge, so that goes along with the book. So this is another thing, another tip is to, you know, when you release your book, release a series. So I have the children's book, I have a STEM challenge so that they can do a challenge in 10 days. And then I have a parent teacher guide. So to help augment and help the student at home to do their activities. So, you know, it's think about, you know, I want you guys to think like publishers, not think like just authors. And so if you're an entrepreneur, you know, what are the ways that you can increase the average order value, right? And in Amazon, in Amazon, the way that you do that is that you create series. And then if, you know, hopefully when parents or your potential reader discovers your book, they want the complete package.
That's good. So what are your thoughts on, I know it's a lot of people out here like, oh, well, I'm going to get with like a publishing, like a big publishing company, or not necessarily self-publishing, or the case may be. Like, what are your thoughts on that? Like, what are the pros and cons? Do you recommend that? You know, what are your thoughts?
Yeah. And honestly, if a publisher came to me and said, hey, we want to do traditional publishing agreement, at this stage, I would take it. But to get started, I would start with self-publishing for a few reasons. And I'll tell you my personal story, why I chose it, and then I'll kind of tell you what the benefits are. I turned, when I got really serious about writing this book, I was about to turn 40. And I just felt like, I don't know, it was just something in me that just said like, hey, I can't wait for to find an agent to deem me worthy. And that takes a process to find an agent. And then I can't wait on finding, once that agent determines I'm worthy, I can't wait on that publishing company to decide if I'm worthy. And then if they decide that I'm worthy, they'll cut me a check for, you know, a few $1,000s. And then I have to wait a year or two because they have publishing cycles to publish. That just didn't sit right with me. And so I figured out with Amazon and their print on demand services that you have control of how quickly you go to market, what you go to market with, and how you show up in the marketplace. And And so I just loved having that autonomy and control and that speed that allows me to do it. And just because I'm the type of person I am, I'm just going to like dive deeply into the intricacies of how Amazon works. And I'm gonna try as best as I can to trick the algorithm to work in my favor. And so luckily I did that. But, you know, I would say that the benefits of going traditionally published is that they have farther distribution network so that they can distribute more and wider, and you just get more air cover with a traditionally published book. But I think there's a shelf life with traditionally published. Like after maybe like, you know, you're hot for like 30, 60, 90, you know, days, maybe even half a year, you know, they're on to the next thing. And so as a traditionally published person in today's market, you kind of have to come with your own audience and you have to do a lot of the marketing on your own. And so if I have to do a lot of the marketing on my own, I might as well self-publish, reduce the speed time to market, and have, you know, full control. So
that makes sense. Yeah, it's like music artists nowadays. Like if you want to get signed, like you got to have your own following, you know what I mean? Instagram people, your own list, your own platform. They ain't just signing people, building it for you.
Exactly.
So that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, this is a great conversation. Does anybody have any last questions or anything that you would like to know? If you do want to get access to our program, it's pinned there on the chat. You can go to selfpublishlikeaboss.com, selfpublishlikeaboss.com. Any last words or thoughts or tips? Like, I really want to do another book like ASAP, and I'm market the hell out. Amazon, of course, I'll do Amazon. I've done Amazon ads too before, and they actually did pretty well. It was hard for me, like, understanding. I'm used to Facebook, and it was a different world. But I definitely want to do another book and put it on Amazon and do, you know, sell it myself and use it as a lead magnet. I said, what's next for you? What can we expect soon? Another book. No, I'm playing.
yeah, more books. I'm not playing. No. I do want to write more. I found a bug. I think it's amazing. So we have some more concepts that we're noodling around. It's just going to take a little longer because I want to get through Black Friday. I would love to see the books, you know, really go to the next level. I'd love to see animated television series. Like if I could close my eyes and dream big, that's, you know, I kind of want to go big, and I really want children to be entertained and educated and inspired in STEM concepts, because ultimately what I'd like to see is more children of color get the exposure that they need to be prepared for the rigors of STEM fields in higher education. And, you know, our Black children are at a significant disadvantage because they don't get the right level of exposure and they don't have the right support system. Like the school system is broken, in my opinion. And so the more as parents that if we can take more back control of their experience and help guide them and expose them to STEM-based concepts, either through books or education or through fun experiences, I think that would be transformative. And as a consultant for self-published in the Self-Published Like a Boss University, what I aspire to see is more Black authors reach Black readers with their content, and using self-publishing as a way to speed that up. Because the barriers to entry of the market have been removed. You know, even though the traditional publishing industry has been under scrutiny for not having and carrying and elevating enough Black authors. And so I think they're being diligent, you know, they're being better about it, but we don't need them. You know, like just like Tyler Perry, he said, while y'all arguing about all of that, I'm gonna build my own table, right? And so that's my aspiration, is to be like the Tyler Perry of consulting for self-publishers. Let's build our own table. Let's get more Black authors writing high quality content, and let's introduce them and connect them to the right Black reader.
Yeah, I love that. I said, thank you for this amazing live. Yeah, this was amazing. Like, I really appreciate you coming through and just giving these gems to everyone. For those of you that do want to take your book and everything that you have going on to the next level, you can go to selfpublishlikeaboss.com. I'm going to talk to you too offline because, like I said, I seriously put up the book. My thing is just like the time to actually write it, but like I don't have to write it. I have tons of trainings that can be transcribed. I got overwhelmingly amount of information. So thank you for that. Yeah, any last words or thoughts, or if anybody has any last questions? But other than that, you gave great information. So I definitely appreciate you just coming on and sharing it.
Yeah, thank you. What I would say is first, like, if you're an aspiring author, is that please don't take your bestseller to the grave. You have a bestseller in you, and so let's get it out of you onto paper.
You need to put that on the shirt.
Yeah.
Like, for real, on QR code, like.
Yeah, let's get it out of your head. Let's, connect with me if I can help you. Once you're ready to publish, let's give you the strategy that you need to connect with your target reader. I think a lot of us are out there just saying, buy my book, buy my book. But what we really need to be saying is, I'm looking for the mother of children who want to expose their kids to STEM-based concepts, right? And I think that's the difference. I'm able to, because I'm really crystal clear on who my target audience is. Once I understand that, I'm able to niche down, leveraging technology, and be able to find them really quickly. And so, let's get you the help that you need to, like, take your book from the idea, that bestseller, to reality and being a best-selling author.
Mm-hmm. Great. Yes. Thank you so much again for this amazing live. I'll share it out. I'll make sure it's saved and it's, on my thread and on my feed. Definitely go to her website if you do want to take action and have her definitely help you set everything up. You want to hire an expert. Don't try to figure it all out yourself. You're going to spend too much time and money trying to figure it out. So definitely get with an expert. She definitely knows what she's doing. 12,000 books and counting.
Yeah.
It's probably 12,500 right now since we've been on. For real.
Thank you for this time. This was fun.
Definitely have to do it again. So like I said, I really appreciate it. If you do watch on the replay, let us know. Drop a comment down. Hit her up. Make sure you follow her too. Those of you not following her, go at the top, like the little drop down. Then you can follow her. If you're not following me, you can follow me. But other than that, yeah, thank you. I really appreciate it.
All right. Thanks, Ryan.
You're welcome. All right. Bye.